Goes up, must come down. What's gonna be is gonna be.
A very good evening to you. I say thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the program, Strange but Real. This program is reaching you from the Enugu State Broadcasting Service, Sunrise FM 96.1, Enugu. My name is Michael Wanto. My friends call me Michael O. But of course, anytime you hear me behind the microphone, you can always call me the Parade Master. And that's because I parade the paradables. Okay, it's already 18 minutes past 4 o'clock on my studio time check. Now, to those of you out there listening to this program for the very first time, I want you to know that Strange But Real is a live interactive program that focuses on different bizarre and somewhat mystic happenings in our lives and the society at large. Of course, this program affords you the opportunity to come forward with your own strange stories through our program department of the Enugu State Broadcasting Service, Sunrise FM 96.1. Or you can always call me directly on 0803 543 2897. You can also check me on Facebook, Michael O. Wanto, or you check the page, Strange But Real. Alright, you know, our maximum on this program is for you not to die in silence. You need to speak out. Why would you die in silence? Come up, open up. Silence, sometimes I can tell you, could be so dangerous. That problem you're passing through, all you need to do is to open your mouth and speak out. You never can tell who may be around to help you out. Yes, of course. When I say that when you open up to that very problem you're passing through, that very time could be, maybe when your destiny helper is listening. And that's more reason why you need to always follow me on this program. But of course, I have to remind you that we have some rules and regulations on this program. I want you to understand that anytime you pick up your phone to call into this program, please, you need to empathize. You put yourself in the position of this very person you're about to advise, because it could be you. More so, please, when you call into the program, always endeavor to turn down the volume on your radio set. Yes, we are looking out for special people on this program, talking about the clerics. We are looking out for the custodians of our tradition. We need lawyers, philosophers, psychologists. We need people with clairvoyant powers. People that are gifted to see things in the spirit and provide solution. Alright, I am not going to waste much time, but of course, it is very important that we go straight to today's story. But first, I want you to know that African traditional religion is revolving around civilization, modernization, and what of course many would be termed reformation and digital age. But of course, in all, you and I know that tradition is something that cannot be changed because it is people's way of life, just as it has been since the time of our forefathers, so shall it continue. No matter how we struggle to embrace the Western culture. Now, I want you to know that this story you're about to hear is not a fairy tale. That story is not fictitious in any way, but I can assure you, it is very strange, but real. Life is so beautiful.
but very strange, but real.
No doubt, life is so beautiful but very strange, but real. Remember that when supernatural things happen to us, we cry and suffer so much. And that is because we have failed to respect the impartial state of nature. And that is why I always advise that you always look up to Almighty God and trust Him, because God Almighty is still perfect and impartial. Alright. In one remote village of Enugu State, in Kano precisely, one man who has been written off in life in terms of success and having his own home and some of the necessities of life suddenly becomes a home of refuge to the downtrodden. But the question is, would the presence of some obnoxious traditional practices allow this home to succeed? Somebody that has been written off, but due to some traditional practices, would it really allow this life-changing power to continue to exist in that family? Ogudiri is 47 years old, according to our investigation. That is based on what the elders told us when we traveled to that family. Ogudili is the only son from his mother. That is because his father married 3 wives. The first wife, who happened to be the mother of Ogudili, had only Ogudili and his only sister. Now, the second wife had 2 girls and a boy. The last wife had 1 boy and a girl. Ogudiri's mother died at early age, leaving Ogudiri and his only sister to survive. It was after the death of Ogudiri's mother that his father married another woman. Now, this man actually proceeded for the 3rd wife in his quest to have many boys. But of course, that could not come to fruition. As nature may have it, Ogudiri suddenly became an imbecile. He was not born that way. He was born strong and healthy, very sound. And that's why we always tell you that on this program we need professionals. How possible is it to born somebody strong and healthy and suddenly the person will become an imbecile? Well, when I was told, I only simply said that it was very strange. But how such could happen to a child who's been growing up very healthy? Well, but of course it was real. Now, Ogudiri is the eldest and first son, like I told you, but of course he could not do anything reasonable in the family. The second wife started doing everything for his son to take the position of the first son. Ogudiri's father, who later married another young woman who gave him 1 boy and 3 girls, later died. Now, the second wife continued to intimidate everybody in the family, using Ogudiri like a slave to do all manner of farm work and the likes. You know, it became so worrisome how Ogudiri could get a wife. Of course, in our society, people like that actually find it so difficult to get married. But luckily, a young lady who got premarital pregnancy was contracted, and of course, she accepted to marry Ogudiri. Now, before then, the 3rd wife to Ogudiri's father died mysteriously, and of course, accusing fingers was pointed to the second wife.
gị na-eme mkpọtụ.
You know, sometimes in life, when something supernatural things happen to us, like I've told you, we cry and suffer so much, and that's because we have failed to respect the impartial state of nature. Yes, when that third wife died mysteriously, I told you that accusing fingers was actually pointed to the second wife. Now, the only son of the deceased third wife suddenly became epileptic. Still, accusing fingers continued to go to the second wife. The ailment got this child drowned to death in the river, leaving only Ogudiri and the second wife's son alive. Now, the wife of Ogudiri started bearing children left and right, with 2 boys and 5 girls. Yes, she didn't stop there. She's still counting, because she told us that she is still a very young girl, of 25 years or thereabout, that she will still have more babies, and possibly she might still have more male child. She already had 2. All right. Now, the second wife is now an old woman, and her only son is facing the worst challenge in this world. Her 2 daughters got married, but of course, it was under, a pitiable condition. Now, the main crux of this matter is that Ogudiri's wife suddenly became a traditional priestess. A traditional priestess. They call it in our local dialect Ezewine. Well, people were trooping in for healing. People were coming in there. Before you know it, the woman now have so many things. She started erecting house. The woman now have a lot that she could use to train her children. But of course, it didn't just end there. Now, the second wife now went and reported Ogudiri's wife to the family kindred that a married woman has brought in a foreign god in their family, that it is not possible for her to be Ezewine under her husband's roof. All right. Well, she said that tradition does not permit such. And for that reason, that Ogudiri's wife must vacate the main compound, and her own son will now possess the compound. That was exactly where the battle started. Ogudiri's wife, in turn, instructed the woman to immediately vacate the compound, because her husband is the first son and the rightful owner of the main compound. Ogudiri's wife, like I told you, has started erecting a building in the compound. The problem now is, like, the second wife, she has gone to bribe the family kindred, and they seem to be supporting her. But of course, Ogudiri's wife is seeking for assistance, because she wants an open justice, devoid of any spiritual connotation that would tag her as trying to manipulate issues. I was also later meant to understand that this second wife, who is now an old woman, has a brother who also is a native doctor, and possibly the person that has been pushing her to do maybe what she's been doing. Well, we see all that as allegation. We did our best to contact the man, but of course he refused to talk to us. Now, Ogudire on his side, as an imbecile, does not even understand the battle going on. Sometimes you happen to be a leader, people look up to you, and you don't do what is expected of you. It is either you're not qualified to be there, it is either you do not even know that you are a leader. And I think that is the situation of Ogudire. He never knew that he is actually the leader in the family. He don't even know anything happening because of his imbecility, maybe caused by a diabolical means. But of course, we are still seeing it as an accusation. That is because we would want experts, maybe, to analyze, tell us if it is possible to burn somebody normal, only for the person later to turn imbecile. But of course, that's not the issue. The main issue is that Ogudire's wife needs help. She wants people to come in. She told me that she could use her spiritual powers to stop everything. But of course, when people go traditionally, they might come back and maybe realize that she has done one or two things, that she wants to remain clean. She personally told me that she's not even afraid of the second wife. That the woman is not going to do her anything. She can only try, but she will fail. Now the question is, what do you want this woman to do? By the way, is it a taboo? Is it wrong for somebody to suddenly become a priestess? Is it an abomination for a wife you married to suddenly become a priestess, as a wine under your roof? By the way, her husband is late. It is battle of supremacy. Well, I'm going to play a song, and when I come back, I will be expecting your calls on 0907-275-9950 or 0706-815-8029. Remember, if you think you want this woman to contact you, that is exactly where I expect you to send me a text message, because the woman told me yes, not because she is a priestess. She is ready to work with anybody who is willing to help her and possibly talk to the family kindred. Please, let me just play you this beautiful song before I begin to take your calls. Stay with us. Alright, if you're just joining us, the program is still Strange But Real, reaching you from the Enugu State Broadcasting Service, Sunrise FM 96.1. Alright, you are now at liberty to pick up your phone, call us and really talk to this family. But of course, remember, you can send us a text message, which of course we have to forward straight to this family. The number to send the text message is on 0803 543 2897. But of course, if you want to be live now here in the studio, please call us on 0907 275 9950 or 0706 815 8029. Take this color. Hello, good evening. Hello. All right, do call us back. Now, there's something I really want to talk. In our tradition, does tradition change? Is it right to say that in the olden days, that a married woman is not likely to become a priestess under the roof of her husband? Is it an abomination? Is it a crime? Could that be a reason for any married woman to be booted out of her husband's house? It is very important, and that's why we need the custodians of our tradition. They need to talk to us.
The story is strange but real. How could my own mother confess to being a witch on the cause of my inability to get married? Oh God.
Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the program. Please let know your name and location. Okay, welcome to the program. Happy to have you on the program. Please go ahead.
I found out the woman said that the first wife also had that's the most important thing because I was trying to be afraid of all the and now that maybe convinced that that woman also had I will advise her to take that thing after 1 month. So there is always a process.
Okay.
She goes to woman now, she pays the bill, and when she will back out, you have to take that bill. So eventually you go to the place that she should back out.
Okay.
Sometime in 2003, there was a case in the town where a lady, because the custom will always say that we should not be in a normal in the land.
Okay.
Because she was not married, she asked the brother to have a land to have to the house. The brother told me that she is not a type of free. After the airport, he is trying to get people. It's not that we don't normally mention it. The lady after to reduce that she is not a type of free. And that's because of her crush with the men. The lady went to court. She asked of the Supreme Court when tradition won. The court told her that the nation, when tradition was never. It is a comfortable discussion, welfare, employer there. And that has not been stopped. So-called comfort that we should not that is their land. So that more on a marriage with it. So the law should be something else because what is happening that there now is a kind of discrimination.
Okay.
It's against our right. We should have to do something wrong. And we have the time of what we call freedom of what religion.
Exactly.
Now what? That is that the traditional religion. So we have to follow.
Okay, but please, I want to ask something. Now,
human rights lawyer who asked her attention, not if she goes to the control, they will give her a lawyer free from charge.
okay,
But that
but
is the kind of advantage.
okay. But please, okay, Chiku, my question is in our African tradition and Igbo, precisely, is it an offense, a taboo for a married woman to suddenly become a priestess, as a wine under her husband's roof?
No, first of all, over one day, the husband is still alive.
Okay.
That was 2019. eventually became a wife.
Good.
Your husband, are more.
Okay.
Your husband, from other, your husband, that's
Mm. All right, Okechukwu, I so much appreciate because you've really made the most important point that I want. Let's try and get to hear what others will say. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. All right. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to the program. Please tell us your name and location.
Okay, my name is
Emeka, you are calling me from Delta State.
Yeah.
Please, Emeka, you need to speak out.
Okay.
All right, Emeka, go ahead.
Okay. Considering the topic that the girl that told her friend about her whereabouts, the girl was specific that her friend should come and follow her, that she's scared. That was the girl's intention, that she's scared. So she didn't do anything bad by informing her friend where she wanted to go.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I guess you are totally out of the topic of discussion. Yes, you are totally out of the topic of discussion. I suggest you drop the call, maybe listen to the story and get the callers back.
Okay.
Thank you so much, my brother, for really trying to call us. All right. Yes, let me remind you that you think you can help this woman. The woman really wants justice. She told me, look, if it has to do with spiritual, that she knows exactly how to handle it. But as it is right now, from left and right, people are seeing her as a spiritual person that is capable of manipulating things. Now, she really wants a practical justice. Okechukwu just told us that it is not a taboo for a woman you marry to suddenly become a Zewanyi. I even know that in our constitution, we have freedom of association, freedom of religion, and so on. Yes, I told you that this woman is from Nkanu precisely. It's just that we really don't want to mention the particular place. That's why I want the custodians of our tradition, especially from Nkanu, to call us. Is it that if you marry a woman in Nkanu land and tomorrow she becomes a Zewanyi, she will lose entitlement to her husband's property? Yes, I could still remember I read something in the Bible where a married woman came with some gods. Yes, those gods were destroyed. In fact, the wife were even threatened in the Israel then. Could that be exactly what is trying to play out in that family? I don't really get it. And that is why we want you to call and make a contribution. But of course, before we conclude today's edition of the program, I want to flash to you. Yes, let me flash to you what will be coming next week. Because that one is very, very strange, but real. If you are from Ihamufu, you cannot afford to miss the next edition of Strange But Real. If you are from Ihamufu, you need to listen to what happened to your community. You need to listen to what is happening to somebody in your community. You know, sometimes when things happen, you think, it doesn't concern me. Because I'm from Ihamufu, you might have Ihamufu, and so what? But of course, you forget that it's giving you a bad name. It's giving your community a bad name. It's giving the leaders, the security operatives. Because when I actually got that story, okay, let's leave it till next week. But for now, we really need to help this Ogudire's wife. After all, she's the only one carrying this case. I told you already, the husband is an imbecile. I am even expecting a doctor to call also to comment on that aspect. Let's get to know if it is possible to give birth to a child, and the child will grow. Possibly on getting to a particular age, the child will turn to an imbecile. Is it possible? You can now see why this program needs professionals like doctors, lawyers, psychologists, philosophers, scientists, the custodians of our tradition, clerics, people with clairvoyant power, those people that can see things in the spirit and provide solution. You cannot afford to ignore this program. That is because I know a lot of people that are in trouble, that has in the past God's solution would always listen to us. All right, it's exactly 5 minutes to 5, and it is on that note that we conclude today's edition of the program, Strange But Real, on Sunrise FM 96.1. Yes, I have to remind you that you are at liberty to check us on our various social media handles. Yes, talking about our social media handles, you can follow us on X at Enugu ESBS, Facebook, Enugu ESBS, Instagram, Enugu ESBS, but of course Facebook is ESBS Enugu. Then this particular program, you can go and watch it and drop your comment on at ESBS Enugu 042. Don't forget to also visit our website at www.esbsenugu.com. My name is Michael Mwato, the Parade Master. Thank you so much for being there, and always call us on 080-354-32897 for your own story to be aired for a possible solution. Special thanks to my colleagues right here in the studio talking about Victor Naji. All right, sit back and enjoy the rest of the package's beautiful broadcast. Bye-bye.
Goes up, must come down. What's gonna be is gonna be.